everyone, and welcome to another video. As I mentioned in my resume video, which I'll link in the description below in case you've missed, as an applicant you need to do your best to stand out, in a good way. That's where your cover letter can come to complement your resume, transcript, and overall application. Before getting into it though, I must say that while many companies may not require a cover letter, it's best to reach out to the recruiters to double check their policy when it comes to sending in an application. Stay tuned for my networking video where I'll teach you how to be in touch with any recruiter at any firm. Some companies don't even look at a cover letter and a resume is suffice, whereas others may look at a cover letter first to get a better understanding of that applicant before diving into their resume. And in other cases, companies may use a cover letter as a differentiating factor between two equally competitive candidates. There are different types of templates and formats one can follow to write a cover letter, but before we get into that, I'd like to share some general advice on how to write a good cover letter. The first piece of advice is to make sure you write a cover letter that's coherent and flows. Think of a cover letter as writing a short essay. You don't want to drop 4 or 5 different paragraphs without transitions, so make sure that all your ideas are consistent and add on one another. Also, try to keep the information in your cover letter different than what you've presented in your resume. So add new experiences and activities that weren't on your resume in order to have a more well-rounded application with information that can only help your candidacy. Also, this might be the biggest advice, don't just write a cookie-cutter cover letter that you copy and paste from other companies. Many companies can tell the difference between an authentic cover letter and one that you're copy-pasting between other companies as well. So if you are going to write a cover letter, be sure you go that extra mile and do the research necessary to get you one step closer to that first round interview. Just like your resume, you want to keep your cover letter to no more than a max. And with all that said and done, let's get into what you should write in your cover letter. I'd recommend following the same header that you used in your resume to maintain consistency, but again, it's your cover letter and you should make it flow however you feel is most natural to you. Next, you should add the company name, the position to where you've applied to, and the date you're sending in your application. From there, that's where you write your letter out to. And although this might sound very straightforward, I've actually spent some time thinking about how I want to format it, because just saying "to whom it may concern" doesn't sound as professional to me, and I'd rather take that extra time to do my research and find out who the recruiter is at that company. And if you are unsuccessful in finding the recruiter's name, you can always write "to the company's recruitment team." Let's now talk about what you should be writing in the main section of your cover letter. I usually like to start with my educational background and the position that I'm applying for. Usually, I like to say something along the lines of, as a junior studying business at the University of Southern California, it is my pleasure to apply for the summer 2020 internship at McKinsey's San Francisco office. That way, you're immediately expressing the position that you are applying for, as well as having a great start to your cover letter altogether. Next, add a paragraph talking about why you're interested in that internship or full-time opportunity. I like to think of this as my why paragraph. Why are you interested in that position? And more so, why are you interested in that company? This is an important question, so be sure to take some time to understand why you are interested in this profession and what makes you stand out. From there, you can move into your next paragraph where you're talking about your experiences, which solidify why you are interested in that position and that company altogether. Now you might wonder, what if I'm a transfer student or underclassman or pivoted different careers and I don't have that much relevant experience? And well, that's where you're wrong. You actually do have relevant experience that you can explain based on molding your story to the way that you want to present yourself to that company. Personally, I was a transfer student to USC who was initially pre-med, then wanted to pursue a career in engineering, and then finally came upon consulting. If you're interested in learning more about why I chose consulting, I'll link a video to that down below. In this section, I talked about how I like strategy and how my experiences playing chess at a young age prepared me for my consulting career. In consulting, you're likely to be working in a fast-paced environment with incoming information and upcoming deadlines. Playing chess is similar to consulting because as new information is presented, you need to be prepared and willing to adapt. So regardless of whether or not your experiences are professionally related, all you need to do is explain your story in a way that defines who you are and what you can bring to the table. From there, you can tie into your previous 2 paragraphs and talk about what you're wanting to learn, and what you're willing to add to the company. Remember, you're trying to sell yourself and those skills that you've acquired for the company, so make sure that you double check what the company is looking for in order to meet their requirements. Again, research. Visit the company's website or speak with current employees at that company to learn more and explain that in your cover letter. Comment below if you're interested in learning more about networking at a specific company, and I'll be more than happy to explain that. To wrap up my cover letter, I usually thank them for their time and reiterate a best way of contacting me. Usually, I like to share my email again, but it really depends on what the company would prefer. Now, let's recap what we talked about today. What you want to do is start off with talking about your educational or professional background. Then, you want to tie that into why this company and why that position. Think of that as your why paragraph. You can either do this in 1 or 2 paragraphs, depending on the amount of information you'd like to share with the company. From there, share the experiences that prove you're ready for that internship or full-time opportunity. And to wrap up your cover letter, make sure to thank them for the opportunity to apply and for the best way to stay in touch. If you want me to look over your cover letter or share advice on how to get started, visit my website, ryanrafi.com, to schedule an appointment to learn more. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe for future content. Thanks again, until next time.